So you've been hearing about the Khumo Property Academy, or you've just been curious about how do I invest in property, right? So you've been working for a while, you've been earning income either from your business or from your job. You've been living maybe paycheck to paycheck and you're just frustrated. You don't know how can you even invest, right? How do you get started? Maybe you've been attending or watching videos on YouTube and wherever else, and you just don't know how it all comes together. You don't know how can I benefit from property investing, because you know the benefits of property investing are well known, right? It's an incredible wealth builder. But now you don't know where to start.
Or maybe you bought one property, you want to get to property number 2, 3, and number 20. You don't even know that it is possible to buy a whole building yourself, your very own self. And if you are like me and Sli, that have paid for several mentorships, weekend mentorships, 6-week mentorships, and you just ultimately do not know what to do with that mentorship, because at the end of the mentorship, there's no actionable steps that you can take. And this is why we built this mentorship.
Absolutely. And I think this comes from our combined experience, right?
Yeah.
So, our combined experience of having attended various mentorships, probably spent over 200,000 Rand on various mentorships over the years, and countless hours of podcasts and YouTube videos on this particular topic. And really having had people ask us, you know, Sli, how do I get started? How do I get access to funding? How do I do this? How do I do that? And so that is why we then decided to come together and say, you know, with you being on the podcast, Miranda, you also had interviewed various people, spoken to people who've done different strategies and overcome various challenges.
Yeah.
So how do we then put all of that knowledge together?
Yeah.
And also not just the knowledge part, because our mentorship is not just about knowledge, right? It's about how do you then put actionable strategies together to implement. Because it's one thing just listening to something, attending a seminar, watching a video, but then you don't know how to follow
How
through.
to follow through. Not to mention the cost of our mistakes.
Yeah.
I think this mentorship is, its power lies in what we lost by not having knowledge, Sli. So the cost of mistakes is not just in, oh, we've paid so many multiple mentorships. It is the mistakes of buying in the wrong place at the wrong time or the wrong property, because there can be something like a wrong property for your investment strategy.
And I think over and above just the physical cash that we've lost, right? Wrong deals, all sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
I think for me, the biggest regret, if I can call it that, is not having had the right knowledge sooner. And not only having the right knowledge, but taking the action sooner. Because if I was a young person starting out with what I know now, I always joke and say I probably could have been a billionaire by now,
I
right?
know.
Because exposure is so important, and not only exposure but taking the relevant action. So had I known what I know now and had I taken that action way back when, I really feel that I've been in a different place. So I really feel that the biggest cost for me was the time wasted in not taking the action, because I didn't know what to do. Like, for example, when I reached the ceiling in terms of my affordability with the banks, I then thought that was the end of my dreams. That's it. It's over. And I spent years not doing anything else until I then signed up for a mentorship program, and that's when I learned about, you know, structuring, how to access finance, and all of those things. So had I known that sooner, I would have been, oh, okay, this is the problem, la, 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 move things around, and all of a sudden I'm able to continue with my property journey.
And so far, with our mentorship, the successes of our mentees are from small to huge, multi-million rand and multi-million thousands. Small little things are unhooked by the mentorship, from how do I register a company and move it along so that I can have a property in that. But we have got several people that have been able to scale their property investments by multiple buildings. And because we first think about ourselves as a small entity. Me, myself, could I own a multiple apartment building? But that has happened in the mentorship. Secondly, people have been able to access funding mechanisms that they were never exposed to, because that's not how they are advertised. Their access is when you know, or when you've got a registered company, then you are exposed to certain things that other people are not exposed to. And we have helped other mentees to become savvy landlords, because it's one thing to own a property, but it is another to property manage your portfolio so that it actually creates wealth for you. So
Yeah.
that is amazing. That those are the amazing things that we do in the Khumo Property Investment Academy.
And I think also, Miranda, we've been where some of you are. I've been there.
yeah.
I know absolutely where, at the end of the month, there's more month than money. At the end of the day, and you just don't know how you are going to make ends meet. You've got a family to support, you've got certain aspirations and dreams, and you look at your income and it's just like, where am I going to get the extra income so that I can achieve those things? And for me personally, investing in property, it started with just taking care of some of the basics. Like, for example, all of a sudden, my phone bill was no longer coming out of my salary. My rental income covered my phone bill. Then it went on to my transport. My petrol money was no longer coming out of my salary, was not coming out of the rental business. Right up until my children's school fees was no longer coming out of my salary, but was now being taken care of by the business. And then it grew like that. At some point, it even reached a point whereby my rental income matched my salary from my job.
Yeah.
So all those things, it's not overnight, it's a gradual process. But imagine if you start removing some of those things coming from your salary and now are taken care of by additional income while you are also growing wealth, right? And these are the step-by-step processes that we take you through, because we've been through it ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And for you?
I think what was missing for me most was, I consider myself an intelligent woman, and what was missing was the simplicity in the language, Sli. And I think we were very intentional in the Khumo Property Investment Academy that we're going to simplify the language of investing, keep away the big terms, so that you can see that as simple as you are, you can even start. You can even see it in the cohort of our mentees, because we've got very young professionals and to professionals who have been in their jobs for 20 years and more, and people at different levels of education, because property is also age agnostic. It's very agnostic of education. So in our mentorship, we are able to unpack things in a way that even the simplest person can. And that was missing for me, because I found these terms very intimidating. They are financial terms that I'm not exposed to in my medical world, and it really delayed my investing in property. If this is you we're talking about, please sign up on the link below and subscribe to our emailing list, so that you can get notifications, firstly, of more of these videos, education videos, or when we are running an online work session or our in-person workshops, and to know when the next mentorship is being run. We run several throughout the year.
And speaking of mentorship, right? So let's tell them about the mentorship. What is the structure of the mentorship, right? So it's over 6 weeks, and during those 6 weeks, we unpack various topics, right? From goal setting, how to actually be clear on your goals about what is that you're trying to achieve. We cover topics such as structuring, how to set up the structuring. We cover things such as raising money, how to manage your properties. So a wide range of topics that we really delve into. So this is not just you sit and you watch and then you don't do anything. At the end of each session, there's actionable things that you need to do that will move you forward. So it's online, it's on the evenings, and also the beautiful part is that we record the session, so if in case you miss it, right? And then also, not only do we have this FaceTime where we are online every week, we also then provide you with additional support after the program ends, because maybe during the program you're still taking in some of the learnings, but then the 3 months afterwards are then where you actually start taking steps to maybe register your company, and you're following through with some of the action items from the mentorship program. And I think that's the main differentiator here, is that it's not just about the learning, but it's action and support. And speaking of support, you don't just have us. You also have the other group as well, where you learn from the others, but we'll also have Power Team, which is trusted professionals and service providers that we have used in the past, that can help you with some of these things. Because sometimes doing this on your own, you may find that you start and then you get stuck and you don't know how to get over that particular hurdle. So through the mentorship, through either our experience or that of our Power Team, we can help you to unlock some of those things so that you're able to move forward. So now that we've had these insightful conversations, and we want to be able to bring this to more people, right? So the best way to find out more about, the programs that we run, our workshops, we've got live events that we do, and we also have a mentorship program. Please subscribe to our mailing list. The link will be in the description below. And if you want to get more videos like these, we'll be sharing more over the next couple of weeks. Please make sure that you subscribe to our channel and switch on the notification button.